Everyone stand. And yes, oh yes, oh yes, this honorable court, the state of North Carolina, in and for the county court site is now open. Sitting for the dispatch of the state's business, the Honorable Camille Banks Prince, Judge, President presiding. God save the state, this honorable court. You may be seated. All cell phones and any type of electronics silenced at this time.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Madam Clerk, who do we have first?
Okay, we'll have first item number 6 and item number 13, which is Penny versus Thomas and Thomas versus Thomas.
Yes, sir, you can come on up. Charles Penny, are you an attorney or?
No, this is the number 13. That's
Okay, it's just, you want both of them right now or just one?
Okay, so Charles Penny, Chucky Thomas, Tyler Thomas, Chucky Thomas.
Okay, so yeah, you can come up.
Okay, which of you is Charles Penny?
right here.
Mr. Penny, do you have an attorney?
I do not.
Okay, so let's see, you are moving for a no contact order against Chucky Thomas.
Correct.
And which is Chucky Thomas?
Me.
Okay, so that was denied ex parte. What are you asking the court to do today?
I'm asking for a restraining order. One for,
Okay, you want the court to enter an order?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then what about you, Mr. Thomas? Do you have an attorney?
Oh, that's my son.
Okay, let me be specific then. Chucky Thomas, Tyler Thomas. Do you have an attorney? Are you planning to get an attorney?
No.
What are you asking the court to do today? Okay, so domestic violence protective order ex parte was denied for you. And then finally, Chucky Thomas.
Yes.
Do you have an
A
attorney?
plethora.
A
But
plethora?
one specific I'm working with, but he's very expensive.
So what are you asking this court to do today? Give you time to hire an attorney?
No, I want to speak to the issues that was raised with
So
these.
you don't want an attorney?
I do.
Okay, sir.
I do.
Okay, either you want an attorney or you don't.
I do.
Do you
I'm
want,
sorry.
are you going to hire an attorney?
If I have to, yes.
That's up to you. But if you're going to do that, we cannot proceed with this today.
Okay, so I'm sorry, ma'am. I was speaking to an attorney here. I'm not from here. I'm from Chicago.
Okay, but sir, you're wasting court time. I've got to get to these other people and find out what do you
What do I
want.
want to do?
Yes.
I don't need an attorney.
So you want
For
to
this?
represent yourself today?
I do.
Okay, we'll have your trial later today. All of you have a seat. This case will be called back up momentarily.
Okay.
Moving on to item number 13, Ringer versus Lineberry.
Okay, we're gonna get ready for that other trial in a moment. I wonder why we got a person still here from the first case. Okay.
You stay.
So do you all serve these?
We give it to, depending on the address, we can either give it to our, if it's in this county, our TV deputies. If it's out of county, then we'll either fax it to that county, or the plaintiff can also do they can also, if they feel like it's not sufficient enough.
Okay, let's call her up, please.
Okay, Ms. Norris.
Come on, please.
I didn't see a continuance order in here for her. Oh, a C.
Yes.
Okay, I got that then. Sorry. Yes, please.
Right, you can just place your left hand above and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give this court is the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, so ma'am, state your name, please.
Diana Bunchsmart.
All right, texted you and said what?
As I've read it, she deleted it right away, but it said, I have a print.
Chucky has made some.
Okay, so the court court has granted the motion in order. So, ma'am, she will have to be advised of her right to counsel. She may actually have an attorney, as she said she would on March the 3rd.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay, so the clerk will provide a copy to you momentarily.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and then I'll do these orders. So I guess as soon as you're done with that, or I can go ahead and start this trial. Okay.
I think one of the efficacy orders left. One of the fixes. One of the trials. One is supposed to be.
Oh, I see. Okay, yes. Let's go ahead and bring them up.
Could you please the last time about what was you went to? Do you swear that testimony you're about to give this court is the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, so take your seats, please, and let's start with Charles Penny.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
sir, whatever you have, bring it with you. All right. And yes, move into the microphone.
Yes, ma'am.
State your name. Keep your voice up.
Charles W. Penny II.
And how do you know Chucky Thomas?
I recruited his son to come play golf at Salem State.
All right. Why are you seeking a no contact order against him?
In fear of my safety, Chucky has made some allegations, one of harassment towards my university about lawsuits carried out towards me, along with popping up on campus unannounced in recent months. And then also, as of the 29th, commented on social media and was videotaped talking about me being finished. Also threatening me through social media about taking this to Dame Dash and that he was going to come down here. This was going to be televised and that I was going to be shamed across America, along with a single comment on a different social media post saying you are finished on another post. And I also have screenshots of these as well, that he was going to report me to the FBI to the point where I had my sports information director, Eris Thomas, to submit these or to screenshot them so I wouldn't be the one responsible for it, and to send it to emails to our campus police, dean of students, along with my athletic director and our school attorney. And once the lieutenant of the Winston-Salem State Police Force deemed one of them as a threat, we then went down to the magistrate's office on Wednesday night, and I filed for a harassment warrant to carry out arrest on Chucky Thomas.
Are there pending criminal charges?
They would, so pretty much the context we discussed because Tyler was with me.
No.
Okay.
That's an around the mulberry bush answer. Are there pending criminal charges, yes or no? Has he been charged criminally with a crime connected with any of this?
No.
So, sir, on the complaint, it shows he has an address in Illinois.
Because we are, in order for us to file, Your Honor, we had to place an address because we don't know where Chucky was located or his current address. We were told that we need to place an address just so we could get it filed.
Okay, so what action, if any, has been taken against him by law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am. So, as of today, I received a phone call. I don't have this isn't documented. As of today, I received a phone call prior to the court that the Winston State was going to be serving him a barring notice from the university based on the disturbance he has caused over the past couple of months.
All right, so you are employed at Winston-Salem State. And
Yes.
What about this other plaintiff? He's a student there?
Yes, he's my student athlete. He plays for the men's golf team.
Okay, all right. We need to be at ease for just a moment, okay? So you can we'll be at ease. They can stay where they are.
So on the courts it is.
Can I give this to the judge to review?
No.
Can I ask? Okay, thank you.
Remain seated, come to order, is on court practice session.
All right. All right, so let's proceed. Let's resume the proceeding, please, sir. Okay, so let's start with your complaint. You say since June of 2024, Chucky Thomas has been contacting Winston-Salem State University threatening to sue you on false pretenses.
Yes, ma'am.
So specifically, what are you saying he's been doing?
So June of 24, I received a phone call from my athletic director asking if Tyler and I were okay. And I assured her we were because we were actually on the golf course at the time together playing golf. And I said, is everything okay? She said yes, but she received a phone call from Chucky saying that he was going to carry out a lawsuit against me because I will not answer my phone.
Okay. Okay, so did you follow up with Mr. Thomas? Well, let me go back.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Thomas call and leave you messages?
He left not on my direct line or extension of the school. He was always contacting the main athletic department, leaving messages, and then eventually it transitioned from there to the WSSU Police Department contact number, and then also to the Dean of Students, John Capel.
Okay, but so it sounds to me that apparently he wanted to communicate directly with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever make yourself available to communicate with him?
Per the school's policies, I don't have to have a contact with the parent in the case that a student tells us that they don't want us to contact their parent. So I was only honoring what Tyler had asked me not to do because of reasons.
Okay, I understand that. So Tyler is 18 or older.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you say here, since November, Chucky Thomas has been showing up to campus unannounced and demanding that he speak with you. How do you know that?
I received a phone call once again from my athletic director along with Dean John Capel. So November 26th to be exact, Chucky showed up to campus unannounced, and my AD called to make sure that I was safe and that Tyler was safe as well, because this is not something that we were privy to or had been discussed that Chucky was going to be coming to campus. And based on the amount of or whatever the conversation was that he had with law enforcement and Dean Capel, they were concerned about where Tyler and I were specifically.
Sir, please stop chuckling and laughing during the proceedings. So who's told, because who's here to say that he was told not to try to contact you?
Tyler asked me not to be in contact, told me to block his father's numbers because his dad was in manic episodes.
But I haven't heard where he's been in direct contact with you to block him.
Oh, you talking about like phone calls?
Anything. You're alleging that this man has been doing something directly to you such that the court should take action against him. So I'm asking you, did you ever tell him to leave you alone?
No, I blocked his numbers, and they were coming from...
So then that part, there's a disconnect.
Sure.
Because before you said it went all through the university, there were third parties telling you about him. How did you block his number? How?
So then that would go back to 2023. Tyler asked me to block these phone numbers specifically because his dad was trying to call me, because whenever he has manic episodes, he starts to call people that Tyler is connected to.
Okay, so
yes, ma'am.
Make it make sense for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you preemptively block his numbers such that you never talked to him directly?
I would receive the call first before, and because of the Chicago area code, I would ask Tyler if this is his dad, because we'd had conversations prior to, but nothing after Tyler was enrolled in the university.
Okay, but again, that part is not clear. I have to that's what I'm asking.
Yes, ma'am.
How did he ever have any notice that you did not want contact with him?
Recently, it would have been through the university saying Coach Penny does not want you to contact him. And mind you, there has not, Your Honor, to be clear, there has not been a consistent contact recently until all this stuff started coming through the university's means of contact.
Okay, so how is this making you feel?
Somewhat, and paranoid is a bad word. I don't like the thought that I have to come to campus and have my head on a swivel because I'm not sure when Chucky is going to be on campus. It's my workplace. And so getting emails to the dean, the university police, alleging that...
Oh, hold on. Okay. Charles Penny, your name looks familiar to me.
My father is the former city manager of Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Okay, are you married to LaTanya?
That's my wife.
Okay. So I do know your wife. I kept looking at this name. I do not know you personally, but I do. Let me disclose that to the defendant now. I know his wife. Have not seen her in probably 10 years or longer, but I can be in touch with her if I want to be. So I have to disclose that. Okay. So in light of that, do you want me to hear this, or would you prefer another judge?
Let's just finish.
Okay. So let the record reflect. The court just realized I kept trying to say this is all of this, but now I get you are LaTanya McIver Penny's husband. I do know her. I don't know that I've ever met you, Mr. Penny. Do you recall of any meeting that we've ever had?
No, because I'm never involved in a courtroom.
I don't know her through the courts. I know her through a child care situation where my children were tots, and one is now an adult. So years before, but I still needed to make it clear. So if there's ever a question about this court's ability to be fair and impartial, then I've disclosed to the defendant that I know the wife of the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's proceed. So, sir, you said you have to have your head on a swivel. You're not sure when he will be there, is what I just heard.
Correct.
Okay. And so what do you want the court to do?
To grant the 50C because not so much just on campus, but because the nature of our sport, we are off campus, and based on some legislation that took place, anytime that we are away from campus, whether it be for practice for a couple of hours or when we're traveling to a tournament for overnight, we are an extension of campus. So if something was to happen, even at golf courses in the area, we would still be considered on campus, and rules and consequences or whatever would still be in place.
All right. So about how many times do you know of personally that Mr. Thomas has made attempts to contact you or come to the school in the past several months since June?
Okay. So fall of 24, I know of, and November 26 is when he shows up, but prior to that, so the email that I have here, this was January 18th concerning me, and then
Are you saying January 18, 2025?
up 2025, that's contacting December 16th. I received an email from the lieutenant on campus about another email that I'm mentioned in, alleging that I am causing his son harm and all this other stuff. And then phone calls that are made that I don't have access to for university reasons. I did ask for them prior to coming, but they said based on university policy that it would need to be requested. Call logs to the police department have to be requested, but anytime that Chucky would call, they would make me aware to let me know that he called again. One, for me to assure of Tyler's safety and Tyler's well-being, but then also so that I would be informed and I wouldn't get caught off guard about the allegations he's making towards me of being I guess you would say a loose coach.
So approximately how many correspondents do you have about his attempt to contact you directly?
Before I blocked his number, maybe 3 or 4 times. After I blocked the number and him calling the university, they'll speak to me. It's been about 4 times that I know of directly calling the athletic department. It has been numerous times based on Lieutenant King from WSSU PD, who has a call log, that he has called wanting to see Tyler, but then also wanting to talk about concerns with me and athletic director Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas, do you have any cross-examination questions for this witness?
Yes,
Okay, questions only, please.
sure. Coach Penny, do you have kids?
Okay, sir, I'm going to sustain the objection for him. That would not be relevant to these proceedings because as far as I know, there are no kids involved here. We've got a person who I believe is no longer a minor.
Okay. Next question. Have I ever threatened you physical harm?
As of Wednesday.
Wednesday, what date, please?
January 29th.
What? Finish the answer, please.
Yes, you threatened me.
How so?
Per your words on social media, you are finished.
And what does that mean?
Based on the Winston-Salem State Police Department, they thought that was enough of a threat for me to go and get a warrant for your arrest.
So you thought it implied harm physically?
I don't play around.
What about getting fired?
I don't play around.
Okay. So you thought it meant me hurting you physically?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so yes.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Third question. Do you know what I do for a living?
I don't care.
You don't.
I don't.
Why?
Because at this point, my main reason for being here is the safety of myself and for the student athletes that I have the privilege of serving.
Is that my son?
It is your son.
Is he on a full ride golf scholarship?
Absolutely not. He's not.
What about academic?
He is on a full ride academic scholarship.
Was he getting $1,500 a month from my disability from the Air
I couldn't
Force?
answer those questions. Those conversations are not held with me as a coach.
How did you meet Tyler?
Through a colleague in the golf world.
And who is he?
I have to answer that.
Sir, what relevance would that have to these proceedings? The issue that this court has to decide is whether or not you have unlawfully followed him and stalked him to the point that he is terrorized of you and needs the court to enter a judgment.
I understand that.
So let your questions help this court resolve that issue.
Okay. So you say I haven't spoken to you since 2003, correct?
No.
When's the
I
last
didn't
time
know
we
you in
spoke?
2003.
When's the last time we spoke on the phone?
It would have been before, it had been either spring of 22, maybe later that year.
Is that 3 years ago?
You've called me, but I blocked your number per Tyler based on his request.
That's right after my wife died, correct?
Okay. You said it's around when your wife died, sir?
Correct. My wife, she
That was
died.
actually December of 2021, Your Honor.
That was
Okay.
3 years ago.
Okay, sir, you'll have your chance to tell your side.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Questions only.
So, yeah, his wife did pass in December of 2021.
Okay. All right, what's your next question, please?
I have no more.
All right, sir, is there more you want
No.
this? Hold on. Is there more you want this court to consider since you are the plaintiff with the burden of proof here?
Yes, ma'am. So I do have screenshots from where he went on our official Winston-Salem State golf page and pretty much harassing. I've reported Coach Penny to the FBI. Coach Penny is not suitable to be over my child. Coach Penny will be put to shame in court. Coach Penny told my son to be in a fraternity, which is untrue. And then this coach should not be around children. And also, you are finished. And then there's a 3-minute and 31-second video where I am mentioned. And when I heard the video, it says it's specifically at the point where he's talking about me to a student athlete, teammate of Tyler's, that he says, when I'm done with this coach. And there's not really much context. But for me, I don't play around with anything the slightest that could sound like a threat because I do have a family. But then also with these comments going on a Winston-Salem State official page, it does attack my character, which in this case, the harassment charge was filed. And you asked me earlier about whether or not criminal charges have been filed. No, ma'am. But as of Monday at 7 a.m., if there is not an involuntary commitment to Chucky, the magistrate was going to implement the warrant for his harassment because she even deemed it that was a little bit too shaky for not to be concerned about it.
Okay, so what screenshots do you have for the court to consider?
Yes, ma'am. So,
And the defendant will have to see those first.
and all you have to do is scroll to the right.
Okay, Madam
Yes, sir.
I don't need to see it.
Come back.
I don't want to see it. I don't. Give it to her.
Oh, and I got one more screenshot too.
Okay, so one thing at a time. So, yeah, whatever that
It's
is.
in the same thread.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. I just had it on a different phone at the time.
Okay, then I'll look at it in that way, but he has
Okay.
to see
I
it.
don't want to see it.
Okay, so I'm going to
You
consider
can
it.
see it.
Okay, so what I can do.
And
is
same
let
social
you
media,
finish
and that's a
this,
direct message to the
and then we'll
page.
stop and come back. And,
Yeah, yes, sir. That's it. That's the only one.
I don't want to see it.
sir, it's your right, but let the record reflect that you have declined.
I did.
Okay,
And it's Meta King or something
keep
like
your
that.
voice up.
It's Meta King is the person that he's commenting as on Instagram.
How do you know?
Because he has DM'd me, and then also he messaged me on my personal page that I'm not worried about. It's more so just the university stuff, since this is the context. But that's the university's golf page, and direct messaged me. And then on my personal page, he direct messaged me, I live here now, and then sent me a weird reel about the Pope being the Antichrist.
Okay.
And then the video, there is the video where you can play it, but it's 3 minutes and 21 seconds where he's just on a tangent. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I can see that there's been a direct message. Coach Penny will make the news. What else are you? Because I don't really want to scroll without knowing what you want me to see.
And then on this, you want me to play it loud?
I can look at it and I can put it here.
Just, no, you good.
To the point where you're going to be defamed in your own city because this is going to be in your state recorded in documentation. Why would you do this? Do that make sense?
Yeah. So, what were you, so long
Okay,
story short,
I'm
what you
gonna pause
said?
this.
Yes, ma'am.
What is this?
So Tyler's teammate, Justin Cousins, is in his room on a phone call with Chucky, and a roommate is recording this because he is trying to make sure that he's protecting myself and Tyler.
Yeah. No, now.
I'm documenting everything that was said, and I'm bringing all paperwork, and I'm going to print my file that shows conversation and text messages with Tyler. And I'm going to show that the date that they went on that PGA tour, I'm going to document. After that, I had a conversation. The day I had the conversation, I'm going to document the day we went to eat pizza. I'm going to document what happened and when we didn't talk, when he moved in with his girlfriend. Then I'm going to show the day and time when we talked again when I was in Tennessee. Then I'm going to show the call log and the text messages and why the text messages went out and the videos he sent me and the things that he was into, which caused me to come here. Now, I did this to the mafia people in Chicago, and guess what happened? Well, the FBI on them now. So I think I'm getting good at this because I built the foul on him and Larry Hoover people. You don't think I can do that to a golf coach? I mean, wait a minute. So if I can handle the mafia, nigga, I'm finna build a whole foul on everything that happened for the last goddamn 20 years. Wait a minute. Ain't that what do you know how big my file was that I turned in?
How big?
You don't know how many, huh?
How big?
Nigga, that page was thousands of pages. Nigga, I took books and recorded it. And when the judge looked at it, nigga, the state's attorney's gonna give me $20,000 for each infraction. Because I'm violated from violence because I got harassed by mafia people. Now, they're gonna pay me. So they're reviewing the file, and the feds got the file. Not only that, Tyler Perry got the files because I want him to make a movie for the shit. Everybody who you don't know, who I know got it. People in hip hop, everybody got it. What you think I'm finna do to this coach? If I could do that, you don't think I know how to go back in Tyler's history and go to his mama and his stepfather's show when they took him from me and it caused me to go to the hospital and she brought the police to my house to strip him because he wanted to live with me. You don't think I could build my case that way?
Man.
You don't think this shit finna turn to something that his mama might have a goddamn heart attack now? Because she gonna realize what she did was illegal. You don't think I'm gonna bring up the fact that I told my son I'm suing her and he said, Dad, don't, because she's pregnant and I don't want her to lose the baby? You don't want me to bring that up in court, do you? Well, maybe I should, because the mama and them need to know why I protect my son and who I'm protecting him from. Y'all think I'm protecting this boy from that coach. I'm protecting this boy from his mama. My mama. His stepfather. His stepfather said, fuck your dad, I'm your dad. Well, didn't he say that and Tyler wanted to run away? See, how far do they want me to go back? Come on. Who they playing with, bro? Who?
Okay, so it's like it's gonna loop. Okay. So, sir, the significance of that recording is what?
That piece specifically in my case where he talks about if I can do that to the mafia, don't you think I can do that to the coach? Yeah, those words for me just don't sit right, and I don't want to even wait to see what it would be, because at this point, my workplace, I can't really, Your Honor, I really don't like the fact that I'm getting phone calls from people on campus, because I don't do anything that would suggest that I need to be reprimanded for anything. And then also, I'm a golf coach. I am a leader of young men, and I shouldn't have to be sitting in a threat assessment because a parent just won't leave me alone. And so, Your Honor, I'm just asking that you would find it, that you would honor me the 50C. That way I can show up to work and go places within Winston-Salem, because the other piece of it, Your Honor, was the unpredictability about where he was, or where he is. And Your Honor, and I'm sorry that I omitted this morning at 2 in the morning, I received another email from Chucky where he has reached out to Sheriff Kimbrough, and he goes on another tangent about what he's trying to do, what he's trying to accomplish, this, that, and the other, where he is talking to people that I have established relationships with this community and people that I've partnered with. And it is causing my space of work and my partnerships. And I think I've done a good job of maintaining my credibility with individuals in the community. But with all this going on, I don't want to put it past people that now that's in their head, that Coach Penny may be up to something not good, and that's not who I am as a person. And I just wish that I wouldn't have to deal with Chucky Thomas.
Okay. Sir, do you have any follow-up questions based on that testimony?
Do you know what I do for a living?
I don't.
Do you care?
No, sir.
That's it.
All right, so listen, you all, I've got to let my clerk take a lunch break, and these deputies. We're going to be back here at 2 o'clock. So your evidence is on. I will be considering your evidence next. Mr. Tyler Thomas, he'll be able to cross-examine you. And then, sir, you can put your defense on for both of these cases. Okay? So that's what's going to happen when we get back.
I don't understand that.
So Mr. Penny has already put his evidence on.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tyler Thomas is next to present his case.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have an opportunity to cross-examine him. Once he gets down, then it's your opportunity to put on your defense. Okay? All right, 2 o'clock.
Everyone stand.
Okay.
Yes, summer court will recess till 2 p.m. Guys, have stayed in summer court. Everyone must exit the courtroom. We're gonna let them leave.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Thomas, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, take the witness stand, please. Okay. Okay, sir, keep your voice up and state your name, please.
Tyler Thomas.
And do you know Charles Penny II?
Yes, I do. He's my golf coach, my head golf coach.
So are you a student
Yes.
at Winston-Salem State University?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know the defendant, Chucky Thomas?
Yes, that's my biological father.
Okay. Let me take a look at your complaint, please.
Okay.
All right, so you have made some allegations about him coming to the campus.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know why can't he come to the campus? Is there any order that says he can't?
Is there any legal order?
Yes.
No, ma'am. Well, actually, technically, yes, now, according to this morning.
What do you mean?
He received a barring a barring order, some type of order to basically say that he cannot come to my university.
How do you know that?
I was informed by my head coach this morning from a text message that he showed me from the officer at Winston State University. A barring notice, that's what it's called, I believe.
Okay, well, that didn't happen when you completed this complaint.
Correct.
Okay, so what would have been the problem prior to that with him coming to the campus?
Due to, I'm going to highlight, and before I highlight it, my goal is to not portray him as a monster or anything of that nature. I just want him to get the help that he needs. My father highlighted and told me that he was going to come down to North Carolina, and due to his behavior in the past, I felt that it was not a good idea. So I asked him specifically multiple times for him not to come to North Carolina.
Okay, now, you are assuming this court knows about his behavior in the past. I do not.
Okay.
So it is your responsibility as the person with the burden of proof to demonstrate that there is a reason for this court to be concerned with behavior. So far, all I've got is, in your case, is that he's come to Winston-Salem State University.
Understood. So, I mean, to highlight things in the past, he's been banned from our home golf course back at home due to his behavior being...
What behavior?
He's being erratic.
Okay, erratic is...
Going on tangents with that. He is the director of golf at Ravislow Country Club back in Chicago, because that's where we're both from. He was being very... he was going on tangents, being very random. It was to the point to where he highlighted that he felt unsafe. And so due to that, the director of golf banned him at my university, at my home course. And mind you, he had an ankle monitor on at the time. So he's had...
Okay, wait. Ankle, who was monitoring him?
I don't know everything because, like I've stated, I am a student. I was only informed by what my dad was telling me at the time when we were keeping communication.
Okay, listen. You came in here before and asked for an order ex parte.
Correct.
It was denied.
Correct.
If you can't articulate what he's doing, the same thing is going to happen. It's your opinion that he's being erratic. Right now, I don't see anything but somebody sitting there. You're not doing as effective of a job as you may think, because whatever you're trying to say, you know about it, but you're not expressing it. You're using general terms.
I was only answering the question that you asked about why I didn't want him on campus to start with.
Okay, but this says you're scared of him. For what?
You never asked why. You only asked why I didn't want him to come to campus, ma'am.
Okay, but it's gotta be a reason. I can't put words into your mouth, and I can't put anything in evidence. And I can't suggest anything to you. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, so I'll know, because he's going to have an opportunity to defend himself in a minute. And I don't know if you were sitting here this morning, but then someone's trying to shout out from right there. It can't happen right there. You have to tell me, what is he doing other than coming to the campus? You're telling me somebody in Chicago banned him.
You asked me why I didn't want him.
I need so when I ask the questions again, you'll understand.
Okay.
There has to be a basis for this court finding that it's necessary to put a domestic violence protective order in place against this man. So if all he's doing is coming to Winston-Salem State, anybody can go to Winston-Salem State.
Understood.
And even if just simply a few minutes ago, Winston-Salem State says he can't come there, that's not the basis of this complaint. Are you afraid of him?
I am.
Why? Not what everybody else has done to him. Why are you afraid of him?
Are you asking why I didn't want him to come to campus, or why am I afraid of him? Those are two different questions.
But if you don't want him to come to campus, is it because you are afraid of him?
Yes, his behavior, yes.
Okay.
It's unpredictable.
Sir, okay. And so what type of behaviors have you seen that would cause fear, that have caused you fear of him?
Okay. With the understanding that he has been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder.
Got it. Give me a second. Sir, how do you know he's diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder?
He has told me a plethora of times. Growing up, he was diagnosed in 2004, 2005 when he was honorably discharged from the Air Force. I've grown up having to visit him at the psych units at VA institutions, as well as having to be able to see him and supervise visitations due to his instabilities and my family's fear of my well-being.
Okay, sir, specifically, what have you seen him doing that gave you fear based on you knowing he's diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder? What specific acts, if any?
Due to him, with my belief of him not being on his medication, before this instance happened and he came down North Carolina, I was speaking to him. I was in communication with him, and I let him know, hey, I don't want you coming down here because I know what you've been doing in Chicago. I don't want you coming down here because I don't know what you're going to do.
Okay.
And the basis of the situation now, the reason why I don't.
Hold on. When was this conversation?
Of me telling him not to come down to North Carolina?
Yes.
My Thanksgiving break.
Of what year?
2024.
Okay, you spoke with him Thanksgiving break 2024. Who initiated the contact?
We had a normal means of communication. Granted that he is my biological father, I was keeping in touch with him.
Okay. What prompted you to tell him that you don't want him here?
Based on his behavior growing up, and especially since my stepmother passed away, he's been consistently arrested. He had an ankle monitor. Like I stated earlier, he's been banned from my home course.
Okay, let me ask it a different way.
He's come to my home unannounced with my stepfather and my mother, threatening them. There's a plethora of things. Like, I can't state just one situation.
I'm not asking you to state just one thing, but it's still very general. And so this is what I'm saying about you in particular. What has he done to you in particular before you came down here and filed this?
Mm-hmm.
What did he do to you? Not your mom, not your stepdad, none of those people. You.
First thing is coming unannounced. I asked him not to come here. He came to visit me and I asked him not to.
When?
He came down Thanksgiving break, when Coach Penny highlighted to you that his AD called him to let him know that he was on campus. So he came unannounced to start with. Number two, he's calling my dean, defaming my character, stating that I'm addicted to drugs, cocaine, weed. I'm addicted to gambling.
When did he do this?
He did that. I cannot give you a specific date, ma'am, because I do not talk to my dean. I was only given this information by my head coach because they have meetings. They've had Zoom calls with the director of athletics, compliance officers, the dean, to talk about how they're going to move forward with this situation.
So have you had any direct contact with him?
I blocked him on almost every single phone number, and he's created new phone numbers and new emails to try and contact me. I have text messages from him. I have screenshots.
Do you have any of that with you?
I do.
Okay.
As well as I have video recordings of potential threats that I took into consideration of why I don't feel safe.
Okay. Well, you'll need to produce this so that he can see it and the court can consider it.
Okay. May I pull my phone out?
Yes, please.
What would you like to see first? Would you like to hear the recording or would you like to see him reaching out to me?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
Your father, and you don't want me to provoke you to anger when you respect me. If you don't respect me, you will see a wrath, and your mama ain't got enough strength to live through my wrath. She don't gonna have to go to the hospital. Why? Because what's in me can kill what's inside of a person. It ain't no joke. Try me. And you gonna see why I made it this far. Because when I put documents here and I send it to the FBI and I take your mama to court before you're 21 and document my lawsuit about killing my baby and wanting to kill you from birth, you ain't gonna be able to live with that. Take me to court to tell the truth that your mama's a murderer. And I have to deal with that shit. But I'm crazy, and they wanted to kill you, and I stopped her from killing you, because her mama and your granddaddy said, kill it. I got you here, and you want to take me to court? Well, let me tell the judge, put this shit on record. And then I go to God and live peacefully while you try to figure out what you just did. Ain't no drug, ain't no alcohol gonna help you with this. Only God. That's it. So either you gonna be with it or you ain't. Because now I'm finna pressure you in the court system. I made Larry Hoover and that mafia guy look like a little boy in court. Their voice changed and they were scared. Come on. Who ain't good with, bro? I'm not no feminine man.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I need her to hear that.
Okay, sir, when was this recording made? You can give it to the plaintiff, yes. When was this recording made?
Wednesday of this week. That's when he came on campus.
Keep your voice up, sir. You got to keep your voice. He's got to be able to hear you out there.
Wednesday of this week when he came on campus and approached my college teammate, Justin Cousins, to have him call me after the police came to the clock tower where he was at to speak to him. He called Justin afterwards, and that's when he went on these tangents. I also have that.
Hold on. Who is Justin?
Justin is my teammate who's from Chicago, who he actually knows as well. So I guess due to him knowing him, he wanted to be able to speak to me through him. And I told Justin I did not want to talk.
Okay,
so I hung up.
So that recording, how did you get a hold of that?
Justin's sweet mate sent me the recording of him speaking on the phone on Wednesday after they got off of the phone. I have another recording as well, the same recording that Coach Penny showed you.
Who is the recording addressed to? It sounds like Justin got it.
Well, it's addressed to me. I mean, if you listen to the video, it's highlighting that he's speaking to me.
Did he say your name?
He said your father. I'm his only child.
Okay, sir, your responses to me are presumptuous.
Okay.
I don't know you
I understand.
him. You have the burden of proof.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not mean to come off snarky, but you do. I have to ask these questions, as uncomfortable as they might be. I don't know Justin. I don't know defendant. I don't know Mr. Penny. I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm asking a question, respectfully answer it.
I understand.
Okay. So again, the court is trying, you're saying that whatever recording this is meant for you. How is the court to determine that?
In the video recording, he states that you're going to take your father to court. I'm his only child. He has no other children. And then he addressed my mother and my grandmother in a video as well, talking about how he has enough wrath to kill a person and that my mother is going to be hospitalized because he has that much wrath. He's definitely talking about me and my family.
Okay. All right, sir, you mentioned some emails.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have those?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, produce those. He's got to see them first, and then I will take a look at them.
Okay, I have two. I can show the first one.
Okay, I know what that is. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, when are you saying you got an email from him?
That was an email a couple of weeks ago, as well as I received an email this morning that I was CC'd on, but I did not receive due to me blocking his email address. So another individual who was CC'd on the email sent it to me this morning.
Okay, so this one appears to be dated December 16, 2024. Okay, let me take a look.
They're just tangents.
So this has some stuff in here about religion and all of these things.
It's a lot.
Do you know, is there any context to this?
Yeah, I was informing my dad when we were on speaking terms just about fraternities and sororities and what I found out about them, and just some things that we don't agree with in terms of our, religious backgrounds. But there was no information that I gave him to get him to come down here and to try and save me from an anxiety attack that he's claiming that I have.
Judge, can I excuse myself? I can't take no more of this. I can't do this. I can't handle it. I'm sorry.
Okay, sir, I need you to listen. No, deputy, let him. Listen, I just need you to understand, if you walk out in the court.
Give me what you want.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Please, I'm going to the VA. I'm gonna check in.
Okay.
I have to go. I can't do this.
All right, so we'll still have to continue the proceeding. We'll just let the record reflect that the defendant is leaving the proceeding, but the proceeding will continue.
Too much. I already had a heart attack and stroke. I can't do this. I'll be at the VA. I have them contact you. I can't do this. I'm done. I can't handle it. I have health issues. I'm leaving. Give them both what they want. I'm done. I can't. I'm not going through this.
All right. Okay, sir, continue.
Where would you like me
Is
to
there more
continue?
that you want to say in support of your motion for a domestic violence protective order against your father?
I would just like to express that due to his behavior and his logic in these emails, I feel like it's highlighting his instability, as well as his delusions that he feel are reality. They're contributing to his behaviors, and due to that, it's become irritant to me personally because I'm having to deal with phone calls from my AD, from my dean. I'm having to deal with phone calls from campus police. It's gotten to the point to where I've had to not go to class on occasion on, I believe it was Wednesday of this week. No, it was Thursday. I didn't go to class. No, I'm sorry, it was Wednesday. I did not go to class due to being in fear of seeing my dad on campus and him being upset with me. I would also like to highlight, even though it was through a third party, that I was on the phone with his biological mother, my grandmother, last week. And once he was informed that we would have a court date, he stated that if he saw me, he would smack the SHIT out of me.
How do you know that?
His grandmother informed me on a phone call. Like I stated, it's third party, but I would like to mention those details to contribute to why I am doing what I'm doing. I also like to state that my goal is not to paint him as a bad person. I feel, especially since I'm his child, I've been around for 20 years now. Due to his behavioral patterns, I know that he's not stable and is not on medication. That's why my goal is to get him the help that he needs. I got an IVC on Wednesday. It expired due to them not finding him at the hotel that I gave the location for,
Okay,
and
so
it
you
expired.
you did a petition for involuntary commitment.
Yes,
Was it granted?
it was, but it expired due to him not being able to be served.
So let's do this. In order for you to have gotten an IVC, you had to demonstrate to a magistrate that he was mentally ill, which you've already told me, mentally ill, schizoaffective disorder, and then dangerous to himself and others. What did you tell the magistrate about him being dangerous?
I informed them about the threats that were made in terms of him having enough wrath to kill a human being. I definitely took that threat seriously, as well as informing them, like I told you, about me getting a phone call from a third party stating that he would put his hands on me if he saw me, as well as highlighting the emails, as well as the deliberate attempt to get contact with me when I highlighted that it was unwanted. The university has told him that I have not wanted to speak to him, as well as myself. I even informed him that I was going to get a restraining order on him, and that was in January 10th. I have a screenshot of that message as well to him.
Okay, and you said you sent him an email, or the screenshot is of you telling him on January 10th that what?
Let me pull the screenshot up. January 10th, I said, letting you know that I'm getting a restraining order put on you. I love you, and I hope that you get the help that you need. God bless.
Well, did he respond to that?
I blocked him after, but I saw that he read it. But my goal was just to communicate to him and not hear anything back. Because at the time, he was saying things that were very disrespectful and abusive, but I deleted the messages. I didn't, I deleted the messages. I can't mention it. It doesn't have any.
But you don't remember what he said?
I don't, ma'am. In all honesty, I've been trying to dissociate with this whole situation. My goal was not to get here. I never had the intentions of having to go to court. So I didn't take the initiative to document everything that I could have because, like I said, my goal was not to be here.
You can't get these things and not be here, though, or document things.
I didn't know I was going to have to file for a restraining order.
Let me see what you alleged in your complaint as far as what you are actually asking for, the basis of this.
Okay.
You say in your complaint, let me see what you specifically sought, or what you're saying the circumstances are. So you don't really, so you say he is in, okay, so let's go with what's in the complaint. Defendant has attempted to cause or has intentionally caused me bodily injury. I hadn't heard any evidence of that. Do you dispute? I hadn't heard any evidence of that.
Of him
attempting to cause or intentionally causing you bodily injury.
I never stated that he intentionally tried to cause anything. I just stated that he threatened me in the video recording.
Okay. So, sir, again, and I can tell you don't understand some of this.
This is my first time being in court doing any of this.
Okay. But I have a job to do. I got to make sure I follow the law on this. So this is why you're going to have to go. If you want to finish this out, you're just going to have to hang in there. Mm-hmm. So the court can make sure it's doing what it needs to do to justify entering an order. Mm-hmm. Okay. So work with me. I hadn't heard any evidence about him because that's on the complaint that you filed. Mm-hmm. Defendant has attempted to cause or has intentionally caused me bodily injury. I hadn't heard that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now maybe we can go with this one. Let's see. Or has placed me or a member of my family or household in fear of imminent serious bodily injury. Or do you fear imminent serious bodily injury?
I do.
Okay, and is that based on him saying he has enough threats to, or he's said things to you about having enough wrath to kill another person?
Yes, as well as continuing to turn up to campus, to come to campus, as well as he tried to even admit to become a student, like he's trying to go to my school.
Okay. And then fear of continued harassment that rises to a level to inflict substantial emotional stress.
Yes.
Okay. What emotional stress have you experienced behind this?
I've had to go to therapy to understand how to deal with a schizoaffective parent. I've had to learn skills of having boundaries in order to figure out how to navigate with the schizoaffective parent, as well as understanding how to emotionally approach the situation by not taking things personally when he acts out of character, by trying to distinguish him from his mental illness.
Okay. All right. That's enough. All right, sir. You may step down.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So in this case, let the record reflect that the defendant in this action did not exercise his right to cross-examine this witness. So all the court has is the plaintiff's evidence. So with respect to the matter of Tyler Thomas versus Chucky Thomas, the court will find that the plaintiff has carried his burden, that the defendant has attempted, that the defendant has placed Tyler Thomas in fear of serious bodily injury by stating that he has enough wrath in him to kill another human being, saying that he would slap the plaintiff, and by continually coming to the university where the plaintiff is a student, it has led to substantial emotional distress in that the plaintiff has had to obtain or receive therapy related to having a parent who suffers from schizoaffective disorder. Furthermore, plaintiff's evidence is that he received a petition to have the defendant involuntarily committed, but the petition had to be dismissed because they could not locate the defendant. So the court will grant the plaintiff a domestic violence protective order that will remain in place for a period of 1 year, and so he may not visit the campus of Winston-Salem State University, nor may he call the university, as he is not a student there. Okay. All right. And then as for the matter of Charles Penny II versus Chucky Thomas, the court will also find in that action that the defendant, although he did exercise cross-examination, he walked out of the courtroom and basically he actually said, give them what they want. But to legally justify an order of no contact, because we don't have a signature for consent, the court does find that the defendant has continuously harassed Mr. Penny by continuing to come to his place of employment, sending unwanted emails, and attempting to communicate with him after he has been asked not to do so. So Mr. Penny is granted a no contact order for a period of 1 year, which would prohibit Mr. Chucky Thomas from assaulting, threatening, harassing him, stalking him, contacting him or his employer by telephone, written communication, electronic means. Okay, so do you all want a physical copy of this order?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, so you'll have to wait for us to get it ready.
That's fine.
Your Honor, may I also ask another question? I'm filed as his dependent for my FAFSA, so how do I go about getting his identification needed to be able to complete my FAFSA on his end due to not being able to contact him? He has it's very messy.
Okay, I can make an exception in here that you, but see I'm scared to do this because, so is he your only living parent?
No. But he's been discharged honorably, so he's 100% disabled. So technically, from a legal standpoint, he has no income. So
Okay.
he's him for Pell Grant.
But the reason I'm asking, because I know about FAFSA and all of that, the point is, if you initiate contact with him for that and you want him to respond to it, he really wouldn't have to respond to you directly. That's through that system. But if he fails to do it, I can't set up a situation where you contact him and bait him into violating the order.
Correct. I don't want to go down that measure at all. I have no desire to contact him in his state of mind. My goal is just to be able to get his identification. I just need an ID front and back so I can fill my FAFSA out. That's all that I need.
But see, I don't have the authority to do anything like that.
How would I go about getting that information? Do I have to go to court again? Do I have to get some type of order?
You may have to call the Department of Education or federal student loan. I've never been even confronted with anything like this in a court of law. But I know how the process works, and he would have to respond to it. Has he historically responded?
I do it myself. I usually do it myself, and I just get his phone number to get the access code. But due to us not being on a communication basis, I've just reset the login information. So to be able to do that, I just need his ID so I can just reset it, and I'll never need him to do it.
Does he not have a payee or somebody that handles his affairs?
At the VA?
Or anywhere?
Honestly, ma'am, I don't know. I don't really know much about his life or anything. I'm in college. I'm down here. I don't talk to him. I don't go over I do talk to him. I did, but I never went over his home during the breaks. He's been kind of unstable for a while.
Okay, you are probably going to have to talk to the federal student loan people and tell them what the circumstances are, and the people in financial aid at the university, and they will have to tell you how to maneuver this.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, and the last question I had was...
It's fine. You can ask as many as you want while you're here.
Okay.
You just can't ask any once you leave.
All right. How do we approach the IVC situation so that he can get the help that he needs?
So the same way you did before. The only issue was he wasn't able to be located.
Okay. And how do I go about locating him? He's lived in 3 states in 3 months.
So he was just here. Where does he go?
I don't know. I have an address, but when he was supposed to get served, he was not at that address.
He knew about this proceeding. He participated in it.
My coach is asking if he's able to speak.
Yes.
Okay, so on Wednesday, after we went to the magistrate's office and we were granted the IVC, I want to say it was, while we were there, Lieutenant King gave us the address to the hotel he was staying at. Once the IVC was given, of course, I get him back to campus. I get a call later saying that they went back to the location they served him these court documents, and they were told that he had checked out of the hotel, and that when they called to see where he was, he said he was on the way back to Chicago. So the whole our prayer after last Friday in front of the judge was that he would make an appearance that wouldn't put us in any type of conflict with him, but they would be able to find him to serve him the paper so we could get here and get this done so we don't have to continue dealing with it. And so, to be honest, we went back to the magistrate's office at recess to ask what we must do in order to get him. I heard you heard Mr. Chucky say that he was going to go to the VA, but we just don't trust that, because he said that as a moment that he's always used that as a scapegoat in order to try to take some of the burden of feeling like he knows he's not in a good mental space, but he doesn't want to
go to the VA due to him not trusting the VA anymore. He was diagnosed and he was prescribed with lithium, and due to him having to take lithium and he wasn't eating a proper diet, it created fluid in his brain, so now he doesn't trust the medication. I think that's why we're in this place to start with. So my goal is just to figure out how do I get an address to get him served if I don't know where he lives. I have an address, that home to suites address, but he wasn't there when he was trying to get served.
Let me ask the clerk, how did he find out about this? Because he was here.
Oh, so, sorry, Your Honor, may I answer? So Wednesday, when he came to campus, I went to Tyler calls me. I called the captain of the police force, tell them that he's on campus and his location. I take the court copies that y'all have to show the clerk of the university that we had papers, and then they got on the phone immediately with the sheriff's department so they could get him served, and they met over at the hotel to serve him.
Okay.
He stated earlier that he was served in the morning
It
session.
just hadn't been returned to the
Yeah, it hasn't
file.
been returned to the file. Does he just got served on Thursday?
It had been Wednesday, right around about 1:00.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so he's transient, and I had to let him, because he seemed like he was about to ramp up in here, and we don't need that in the courtroom.
And that was my fear on campus. Like, my AD walked by him, and he's been very vocal about the frustration with her. Of course, I'm not speaking for her protection. And of course, my main responsibility is the young man that I serve as coach, but he walked right by my AD, and had it not been for the divine confusion with Justin calling his name and talking to him, my fear was that same thing was going to happen in the middle of campus.
Yes, and so the issue, unfortunately, with someone like that is it's just a matter of when the person is served. If he still has the tendencies to come where he's been, eventually he may get served, but I can't tell you when.
Okay, so my question would be, I was informed that it expires after 24 hours. How would he be able to be served if it's expired? Do I have to just go every day, keep applying?
If you believe you need to.
That's a lot.
Now there's a domestic violence protective order where you are concerned. So there are rules. If he's not served within a certain time of a petition, it does get dismissed, and you do have to start over.
And Your Honor, would it have been inappropriate had Tyler gone last night? Because per the information that the police gave me to talk with Tyler, they said your IVC will expire at 7:45 p.m. You need to go down there and refile. Would that have been out of order for Tyler to do that? No, we had a court date. So, and their fear was that he would have gotten served and then this wouldn't have happened. But the other piece of it was we went over there during the recess just to check to see what we could do and how to properly do it. And for this reason, to get him served, to get him committed. And they told us that that would be out of order for them to have even filed it, even though we made them aware that the court case would be ending. Sort of like what Winston did. They came and bought his barring notice before, even though that's not going to get him committed. But we were trying to get him served after court to help him get committed. And they said that was out of order.
I understand what you might have been, and that's all of us have rules that we have to follow. The courts, the magistrates, the university. So it may not be, everything is not going to happen the way you want it to. You got what you came to the court for today. That's all I can do. And then the magistrates, they have rules and guidelines that they've informed you as to, and then the university.
Gotcha.
So you may have to do these, or just take your wins where you can get them, and then the other ones may follow. So the only thing as far as this case is concerned, he was present. So, and he indicated he actually has, it's just not been returned. But wherever the address was, you can send to this address that's here and the address where he was served. And then he has the notice necessary that there's a permanent order in place. And then again, the record should indicate he proclaimed, give them what they want, so it can be viewed as a consent. But even still, the court has made findings to support entry of these orders.
And just for my ignorance, because I've never been in this position, with my protective order being granted, this is anywhere I am that will, not just on my residence, the university, correct?
So the language here is already language on the form. Defendant is not to enter or remain present at plaintiff's residence, school, place of employment. Now, are there other places that you may be that you would think he may follow you and you don't want him there?
I did on mine. I did specifically name our main courses that we use, but like right now, he could go on our website and see our tournament schedule and where we'll play out of state. Like, I mean, we'll be in Las Vegas, but I ain't putting anything by him. Do I need to go and add that post trial?
Okay, so I'll put here, defendant shall not contact plaintiff via any social media platforms. Okay, so defendant shall not contact plaintiff via any social media platforms, nor shall he appear at any location in which plaintiff may be for purposes of work-related golf tournaments.
That's perfect.
Your Honor, I also would like to highlight that I do live in Chicago. So how would I be able to make sure that he doesn't come to my residence at home as well when I'm on break? Because he did mention going to try and attack my stepfather and my mother. So I'm kind of worried about
Okay, you'll have to deal with law enforcement
in Illinois.
yeah, whether or not they're going to enforce or use this as a basis for finding that he's criminally liable. If you're in Illinois, but this order is a North Carolina order, and it would be enforced here if anywhere in North Carolina. If you were to call law enforcement and say he is not supposed to have any contact with me, he is.
Okay.
And then he would be arrested here.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's clear from the order that he's not to have any contact with you at all. So law enforcement in anywhere in Illinois would have to determine how they go about addressing these.
Okay.
I didn't want it to erupt in here, and then y'all have to call in a bunch of deputies.
I was just going to see if I can, keep everyone in the lobby safe. And then I have try to handle that stuff.
Mhm.
I can get a retake.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to the parking lot.
please do.
In case he comes back, I'll go down like the large bunch and come back to the building. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy.
Who you do? I think I got green Saturday. I don't know. I got green. Yeah, I got like 2 days tomorrow. Yeah, I got tomorrow. I'm going to Sunday. Okay. I didn't get a chance to see the shit watch.
Okay.
Shit's irritating.